Hi again everyone, welcome to today's video. We're talking about Metro Redux for the Nintendo Switch. We're going to start off with a two-part video. So the first part is coming out today, which is going to be talking about Metro 2033. And then next week we'll do a second video talking about Metro First Lite. So if you're not familiar with the series, this is a first-person shooter survival horror game which originally came out in 2010, and then last year we were lucky enough to get Metro Redux, which is both games on one cartridge for the Nintendo Switch. So let's have a look at the game and let's start to review the game. After a nuclear war, survivors are forced underground and now start a new life living in the metro system. Underground sees constant war between the communists and the Nazis, as well as surviving mutated creatures. You play the game as Artyom, and your home becomes under attack by mysterious creatures that are known as Dark Ones. The game sees you travelling underground and on the surface, and you must try and find a way to save your home from the Dark Ones, seeking out a way to resolve what's happened. There are two different ways that you can play the game, and the footage you can see now is taken from the Spartan style of gameplay, which is more action orientated. There's a lot more enemies and a lot more ammo available to you. But then there's also a mode called survival mode, which is a lot slower and it involves more stealthy style of play. So once you've completed the game, you also have the option to go back and play through in the different style of gameplay if you want to. I think one of the best ways to describe this game is if you think back to the PlayStation 2 Red Faction, and then you cross that with the 2016 Doom or even Doom Eternal, and you mix the two together, I think you'd get something like the Metro series. So if you're really into those games, then I'd definitely recommend it. You get a good combination of storytelling, plus you get a little bit of open world survival, where you have to collect ammo, make sure you've got medikits and enough gas masks to survive. So that's the sort of vibe I get from the game. Imagine Red Faction crossed with Doom. A lot of the other reviews for this game have talked about the darkness, so I think it's important to mention that. And when you first start playing the game, you are given a torch and a charger for that torch, and every so often you have to kind of charge the torch up to make sure you have enough charge there. I must say, it was a little bit annoying when I first started playing, but it just adds to the realism of the game. If you think of it like reloading, so as soon as you know you're about to enter a dark area, charge the torch, and then you've got plenty of charge there to last whilst you're maybe coming across various mutants, various enemies. So think of it just like reloading and a way of making the game more realistic. So it's taken me about a year to decide to buy this game after watching several other reviewers playing the game. Now, one of the reasons I was very reluctant to get the game was just because I'm not into the horror genre. I can't play Resident Evil and I don't like to be scared, even on scary films. I don't like it. But this film is a little bit more, I'm not sure how to put it, it's not that same horror genre. You're not going to be really scared from what you're seeing on the screen. They've made the game so you feel quite claustrophobic because it is set underground. So there is almost a sense of relief when you get above ground and you see daylight. It gives you that sense of relief. And occasionally things will jump out and scare you. So again, make sure you charge that torch, try and create as much light as you can. But it's not as scary as I thought it might be. One of my favourite aspects of the game is the customization of weapons. Now, there isn't a huge amount of weapons on the game, but there's enough there so you can change throughout the game, maybe change the way you're playing by choosing a slightly different weapon. But you've also got a lot of different customization options on weapons. So the best thing about this is you get ammo and then you trade the ammo in order to get those new customization options. But because of the way I'm playing in Spartan mode, there's been a lot of enemies, so I haven't had to actually spend any money on the game, because I've been able to pick up as many different choices of weapons as I want just from looting the bodies. And that's another fun thing as well, is making sure you try and get every little bit of ammo you can, looking around a room that might be empty just to find a couple of extra shotgun shells. It really does add to the game and makes the game really fun to play. If you watch my review for Commandos 2, you'll notice how I talked about how poor the load times were for a 20-year-old game. Now obviously Metro 2033 came out originally in 2010, so it is about a 10-year-old game now, maybe just approaching that 11th year. But they've really improved the game. Now I haven't had to feel as if I'm waiting. There's a few little load moments when you go into a new area, but again, I don't feel as if I'm waiting an awfully long time. It's a lot quicker compared to Doom and Doom Eternal, and also you get the game on the cartridge. You get 2 games on the cartridge, so that might also improve those load times as well. Graphically, I have enjoyed playing the game. I think it looks really good. Obviously, it's from 2010 originally, and then we're getting that remake that came out in 2014. So I think they have done really well to get this over to the Switch, especially on one cartridge. Now obviously they haven't pushed the game to the very limits like they did with Doom, but it's still one of the best shooters on the Switch, and it's also been one of my favourite games to play on the Switch as well. You can pick the game up on a cartridge, but it is getting that little bit harder to find on the cartridge for the physical edition. But you can buy the first game 2033 and the second game separately on the eShop, and they come in at around £20 each, so you can buy them on the eShop, maybe try the first one out and then get the second one if you have enjoyed the first one. The game itself is around 10 hours, so the first game 10 hours and the second game roughly 10 hours. Remember, you've got those options to come back and play the game through in either survival mode and Spartan mode, so there are a couple of different ways you can play the game, and you'll also get that sort of secondary playthrough in a different mode, so there's extra hours you can put into the game as well. Thanks a lot for watching today. I hope this review's helped you. Let me know in the comments below if you've liked anything in the review or what games you'd like me to review. Don't forget to obviously like, comment and subscribe to help my channel to grow, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks a lot everyone.